Do you guys want a Yahoo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Yahoo was sent in by Game Recognized Game, Rachel Sperling. Thank you, Rachel. It's by Yahoo Answers user Abdul, who asks, how do the UFC get your number? I was just wondering, because a lot of UFC fighter says one day the UFC rang them and asked them if they'll fight. Hey Justin, it's me, UFC Commissioner Gordon. UFC Commissioner Gordon. And it's time to call you up for the big show. We got you fighting Steel Jaw Gordon.
But my brother.
Commissioner Gordon, I haven't punched anything in weeks. There's no way I'll be ready.
Not since the accident.
Not since I lost my punching in a blackjack match.
I've just been smelling since then.
Let me listen. We can get you back into fighting shape. Just eat all these eggs, shell and all.
Full of vitamins.
They're full of vitamins. Let me explain how it works. Your muscles are basically a bunch of water slides.
All right. Montage. You're in the fight.
How do you? But this fun fantasy that we just whipped up is just that. Unfortunately, Justin, it's just a fantasy because I don't think you are in the UFC Rolodex.
Yeah. Well, I tweet my number to pretty much everybody in the UFC, so they should be able to find it with a little bit of Googling.
Justin, when you turned 18, did you register?
With the selective UFC service? Yes, I did.
When you were 11, did an owl come down your chimney? Congratulations, Justin, you're a punchard. A what? You're a punchard, Ari.
You gotta go study at Punch-agon. We're not very creative with the fiction.
Come with me to Punch-agon Alley. It's where you'll buy all your fighting supplies. This alley sucks. This alley is just people beating the shit out of each other in an alley.
Have fun.
Harry goes back, and during the summer, he's like accidentally uses his powers on the Dursleys, by which I mean he becomes abusive and just hits them. Like, no, you suck. Like, this sucks. You're punching our aunt, and now you're punching Dudley.
Now, Harry, I have to tell you, when you were a baby, you were attacked by he who must not be punched.
No, you don't. You don't understand. There were Dementors. You punched each of them like 16 times. Yeah, a Dementor would like get in front of them, and then he would dissipate just as my punch was going to connect with his spectral body. But my punch would go through because that's how I learned how to punch. You punch through the target, and then my aunt was on the other side.
And I cast Expecto Punchtronum. You just put your keys between your fingers.
Yeah, it's a spell. It's a spell. And let me tell you something. I'm feeling pretty magical right now.
Officer.
Dumbledore.
How does the UFC get your number? They probably just call people until they find somebody who knows you, right?
Oh, you think it's cold calls?
Yeah, like, do you know somebody who knows Dana White?
Hey, can you put me in touch with Justin McElroy? I've heard good stuff, but I can't seem to find his contact anywhere.
No, I'm saying there's a phone tree. Dana White calls two people, they each call two people, and eventually that spirals out until he gets the person he wants, is what I'm saying to you.
I was picturing like a call center where people were like just like ringing your number and saying, hello, this is Deborah calling to see if you might be interested in punching people for money. Oh, you don't have time for the call? I understand. Is there a time that we could call you back later about punching people for money?
I'm getting this recently I've been getting this telemarketing call, and it's a robocall, I guess, where a man just says in a very authoritative voice, as soon as I answer, the first thing he says is, do not hang up the phone. And it's like, that is not usually my first like I answered.
Hello? Oh God! What?
You don't just sell me on not hanging up on you instantly. Like that battle's won.
I got a recorded message the other day in which they had recorded in uhs and erms and stuff to make it sound, and it was
creepy.
Like, hey, this is like, you know what, Deborah again. Hey, this is Deborah calling. I was just calling to see if you might be interested in a cruise. And I was like, what? And hung up. I was very off put.
Do
Glad you cracked that case though, Trav, before it was too late. You could have been having a very sobering moment out there on the Keys, where you just sit up, you look out the porthole, and you say, "Wait a minute,
If you stay on the phone for too long, they can track you."
Right.
Do you guys ever think about what your UFC fighting specialty would be? Because that's what's so striking to me about the UFC is that there's just there are so many different ways to fight another person. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of punchers. There's a lot of throwers. There's a lot of grabbers. There's a really popular one is like a twisty situation where you grab a person and you just twist them all up and you twist yourself around them. And they don't know. They try to punch you, but they're trying to use your arm because they don't know where they stop and where you begin.
I think I would probably be recognized as like a mind changer.
You don't want to punch me.
Hit once. What?
You don't want to. That's what I thought. That's what you're like a mentalist. Like,
no, I mean like I get punched once, and I'm just like, oh no, wait, I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, I thought.
Oh no, sorry, let me out. Please open the door. Please open the door and let me out.
I would probably do something pretty manipulative. Like I would probably do sort of a runaway jury style, calling people who know him and convincing them that I'm a good dude, and then tell them like, hey, if you really think I'm a good dude, could you pass that on to Punch and Daryl, my opponent for this week? And they're like, sure, no problem. And then when I get in the ring, he's like, man, I've heard from a lot of people, you're a solid guy. I'm not going to be able to punch you. And as soon as he finishes that sentence, I turn it to him and I rear my fist back, right? Like, and really flex my muscles and say like, I can't punch you either. And then the UFC is like, what? You've solved the riddle. And Dana White comes out and gives me $1 billion in the key, and he puts me in the Wonka-vator, and we fly out the roof of the place because I solved it. Everybody's been punching.
The lights come on as there's just mannequins in the crowd.
Ronda Rousey's like, where's my money for the fight? Where's all the payments that you owe me for the fights? And Dana White says, you get nothing.
You lose.
You punched the other woman in the face. You stole fizzy lifting drink. You get nothing. Good day, Ronda.
That does explain why Ronda Rousey floated up through the giant fan at the end of her last
Until
fight.
she burped. Yes, Travis. Still have not gotten much traction for my let's organize a Pokemon fight between Griffin and Ronda Rousey. Although I do have this theory. You guys want to hear it? She's obviously the best fighter in the whole world right now. And I'm starting to think her poke knowledge sort of plays into that. Because she sees someone coming at her with a kick, and like she has this like built-in matrix of strengths and weaknesses in her brain for real-life fighting. And I think that matrix was developed over years and years of memorizing type matchups in the Pokemon universe.
So if someone goes for a kick, she immediately thinks like Mei-chan, and like...
Or she has like maybe it's like a mnemonic device where she's like, Kickmon-chan. That's not one of the names. I've just brought shame to myself and my family.